Turn up the volume. Get bearded. Let's start the show.
Welcome to Bearded Biomed.
Hey everybody, Bearded Biomed here. As you can see, we're at the AMI Exchange. You know I love coming to this conference, and I'm with some good friends here at Samsung. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything, but there's some things we need to let you know of, especially you Biomeds, because this is a conversation that we need to have. Of course, I got Mike. I appreciate you joining me, Brianne and Ernie, and we're going to talk about some stuff. So, Mike, let's kick off the discussion. We're in your booth. Obviously, we're surrounded by a lot of cool equipment, but you guys, before we even started, you said there's some things that we want to talk about on the Biomed side. This isn't about just, trying to put equipment out there for people to buy.
Yeah. So we want to be different in the industry in the fact that we want to partner with everyone in the industry. And we don't want to, segregate between in-house third-party service providers. Our philosophy is if a hospital dictates you as the service provider, then the right thing for us to do is support you in that hospital. At the end of the day, I think we're all here for one mission that we can't lose sight of, and that's patient care. We're part of the patient care experience. And if we don't provide that level of support, we're not doing right by our patients.
So, of course, hopefully you know who Ree is.
Yeah, you guys should know who I am by now. I've been in the field for a while. I want to share so much about Samsung. First off, I'm really grateful to be here at AMI, and so many of you guys have come by our booth already and had the opportunity to see our product line. But I just wanted to share a little bit about how we are trying to help our HTM community, kind of mirroring what Mike just said. I mean, when you guys purchase a system, you want to be able to have the option to service it yourself. We offer that.
I can mimic off of that. One of the reasons why we get into this field is because we enjoy helping communities. We enjoy helping our patients. And Samsung has taken an effort to make sure that the HTM community, our clinical engineers, can repair this equipment. And it's important. It's what Mike and I got into this field for originally. We've been doing this, 30 something years ago, but it's important that we can give back in a way that's meaningful, that helps out the biomed community, HTM community, but it also has a profound impact on the way the clinical engineering departments run.
Yeah, because every little bit of downtime for a piece of medical equipment is somebody's life that is not able to be saved. There's a diagnosis that you can't make. So when you have our products in your hospital, know that we're going to fully support you. When you call our 800 number, you're going to get a person on the other end of the line. You're going to have all the support you have with our systems. When you go to the training, you're going to get the same training I got as a Samsung employee. I've sat with several of you guys in that class together, and we've got out and we've worked together at your hospitals.
So there's a couple things you touched on that as biomeds that we definitely can relate to. There are a lot of the topic points when we talk about the relationship between ISO, in-house, manufacturers, and how we navigate that space where we all is a win-win situation. So the training aspect, there's always that modicum of, am I getting the same level of training that the OEM technicians are? Well, yeah, you guys do that. You're willing to put that out there.
And not only the training, but you're also getting the software. So a lot of times you'll go to an OEM school, you'll get the resources to do those repairs. But when it's time to do a software upgrade, you're stuck. We don't want you to be stuck. We want to make sure that you can get your equipment up with as minimal downtime as possible. We're here for you.
We don't believe in different service level keys.
Yeah. And I think first, before I touch on that, I think one thing that we're super proud of is everyone standing here. We've all been in your shoes. We all started in Biomeds. Some 4 years ago, some 30 years ago, but we built our philosophy around that. And as we go back to the training, so these two products here are movable medical devices. So when we train, we understand that it's sometimes cost prohibitive to send 6 biomeds to a training. and you take your department down to minimal staff.
Right.
So what we do is in service, we have 6 of these systems that we own in service. We deploy those to you and train on site in your facility. I think it's very unique. It comes with some challenges when we come. We need sort of everybody to shut their phone off and not take calls. So you don't want to run out and take the next call. So, we're super proud of that. And the other thing is we want to hear from you. What can we do different? How can we be better? We're not done. We want to keep going and we want to keep growing and supporting this community.
One thing that I really like with my time here at Samsung is I found out we have a voice of the customer portal where we get feedback from our clinicians, from our end users, and we take that feedback and we use it. We'll go to Korea and say, hey, this is a feature that our staff needs to have on this device that they're lacking. We will make that product upgrade. We will make it happen. Our goal is to take care of our biomeds, our clinicians, our end users, our techs. We want to make sure that you have equipment that you can rely on, you can count on, and that you can service in-house.
One of the things that we do, when we're doing training, we're doing small class training, 6, 8 people max. And our technical service experts are the ones doing the training. So when you get back out in the field and you want to ask that instructor, you're going to be able to get a hold of that instructor personally and be able to run through scenarios that are coming in.
So our GM85 portable, I don't know if you guys know this, but 40% less radiation to your patient without compromising image quality. That's a game changer for the industry.
Everybody likes to be radiated a little bit less, right?
Right.
I think everyone here is familiar with Samsung in some capacity. But if you look at our products, Samsung's technology company. So we take that technology across everything Samsung does, from semiconductors to monitors, and it's implemented into these systems. So we're constantly evolving as technology evolves. And we all know
Absolutely.
technology is changing day in and day out.
And we're very prompt to act on any issues that you guys have. They're really quick to send me out in the field for those software upgrades because we want to make sure that you're prepared.
All right, so let's think about this too. Let's say Biomed out there, they're trying to navigate the imaging space. One, what if they want to get a hold of you guys for training? What's that process look like? What can they expect? I think part of with any kind of OEM training, they're like, well, what am I looking into? Like, what am I going to experience? What do I need to be aware of to make my time as successful as?
Whenever you purchase a piece of equipment from Samsung, we put that ball in your court. If you own the device, it's your decision on if you're going to get the training. So whenever somebody would purchase one of our systems, we'll actually ask, do you need the Biomed support? And we'll do that on the front end in most cases. And then if you have our Samsung systems and you're looking to get that additional training, it's a pretty simple process. You have to provide a serial number of the Samsung system you have in your hospital, verification that you work at the hospital, and give us a call on our 800 number. We have a link. We can set you up, and we've got different dates. What do we do at monthly? So once a month in our Danvers location. We also have our GC85 rooms, because a lot of times we can't do the room. We can't bring a room to your hospital. So we can even fly your techs out to Danvers and do the training in our beautiful GC85 room and have the ability to tear the system down, rebuild it, and learn all the ins and out right there at our Danvers headquarters.
Yeah, and I think that's a super important point about our rooms is we've been asked to come train on site on new installs. And, we've politely declined that invite because we're going to break this.
We want to break it. We want you guys to
turn it back over and we walk out the door and it breaks again. Come to Danvers, spend a week with us there if you want to work on it.
The food is really good too.
So you're saying it's not a good idea to start off a brand new relationship with the radiology director saying, hey, your unit's not working.
We're going to put the covers on. Now we're going to take them all off and then we're going to unplug things and try it. It didn't work out well.
So you guys are going to bring in a detector here. What do we need to know about that?
Yeah, so this is one of our detectors. So we've recently transitioned to a glass-free detector without major increase in radiation. As we look at imaging throughout the year, we went from film processing, CR cassettes, and now to VR. There's been some creep.
Mm-hmm.
We want to minimize that creep. So we have the lowest EQE. I mean, you can feel it. It's very light.
Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting to be that light.
When I'm at the hospitals and the techs are using these, they're so impressed with how light these are. And the
Well-
battery life stint is pretty long on these as well. They don't tend to die.
And
We-
you've minimized the glass on this, or it's
There's-
completely good?
Completely glass free. There's no glass.
No glass.
That helps the weight too, right?
It helps the weight. But believe it or not, you know, it helps with drops. When you drop a detector, there's electronics in here and you can damage the electronics. The electronics can be repaired and damaged. So if you break the glass, which we've seen,
Yeah, no,
it's over.
the beauty of that too is it's also going to lower the cost of repair as well. So you're going to be able to maintain these things longer and also save.
And, you know, for me, it's the simple things. So where we see drops is bagging. Since COVID, you know, everybody's bagging, and pre-COVID too, but it's really that rate has gone up drastically. And I don't know if you'll see this, but it's really a simple thing. The system is designed, the detector, to sit here, clinician bags, and we reduce the drops more there. And at the end of the day, that reduces the spend and drives uptime
You're designing for.
for use with.
Well, you also got decades of, use of how clinicians try to treat some of their equipment. So that helps with R&D.
You know what else helps a lot is in South Korea, Samsung has a medical center. It's vendor agnostic, but part of goodwill in the community. They've built a hospital. It's a 2,400 bed facility. It's massive. So we're able to work with clinicians to really design the product with them in mind. And it's simple things, like I said. So if you look at our first generation detector, square. So now it's bevel, so it slides easier on the
Right.
patient. It has grips, which, minimize drops.
That's
It's
nice.
all about preventing drops and driving up.
Now, the other thing we haven't talked about these is when they are dropped, and God forbid, we need to get them repaired. We have a loaner program.
We do. You ship yours in. When you fill out what we call detector repair form, before yours comes, you have one on the way. Next step.
So we've got detector loaners, we've got hot swap systems, we've got everything we can do to try to keep your hospital going.
So another thing that we often encounter is how do we monitor drops? And it's not to be punitive, it's how do we change behavior? So we have a program called Smart Center that when you drop the detector, it sends out a notification to a slew of different people. Biomed HGM, department heads. If you want a C-suite involved, it will send to them. And it allows you to monitor the drop per person and see what happened, where it happened, and how do we change that behavior. Now, I think one does not dictate a behavior, but if you see a pattern, we're able to track that to Smart Center.
I mean, a perfect example of that is, it might not just be negligence. It could be just the way that, let's say, the radiology department's laid out. So they have, a set of double doors and they always have the portable stash right next to it. Somebody comes through, knocks the detector out of their hand. Well, they know they probably need to stage it somewhere else for charging or what have you. There's a lot
Absolutely.
of different good information that can come with that. Well, maybe we need to realign how we set up things and, take our shots, charge devices, things like that. So I think that data is invaluable for Biomed.
Yeah, being able to measure and see those things is gold. Absolute gold.
It is gold, and we'll talk more about Smart Center later, but another feature is it tracks the productivity of each system. So you may have a system in the ER that's constantly running
Mhm.
all day long, and you have a system in ICU that's used once or twice a day. So it allows you to rotate systems, drive productivity.
Oh my God. I didn't know it did that. So thinking big picture wise, equipment planning, capital asset planning. If you see you got one device in the ER running nonstop, you probably need a plan to get another device in there if they're running that much because you're running the batteries
Absolutely.
all the way down. And I assume if they're taking that many images, they also have the patient flow coming in too. So there's a lot of that can go into it. That data can basically be used for justification to,
That
budget for
equipment utilization is
exactly.
huge.
And I wish more equipment did that, but just that's a game changer right there from just a management C-suite, capital asset equipment planning.
It's invaluable, for everybody, because in HTM, you have access to the same dashboard as the C-suite, as the department. So everybody's looking at the same data set all the time.
Right.
And it also, if we look at, battery life, you're able to manage your battery life using Smart Center. And we all know that batteries run down quickly. And one of the things that Samsung did through innovation is that system has a lithium ion battery.
One battery.
One battery
One.
that will last 3 years at minimum. We've seen them go up to 7 years.
Yeah, 6 to 7 I've seen.
Five is pretty typical.
Yeah, it's driving cost of ownership down, but driving productivity with the system. One charge, 8 hours, 30 miles of driving or somewhere in that neighborhood. So it will go all day.
So from a Biomed standpoint, talking about batteries, have you guys ever had batteries fail on your portable x-ray? It's a pain in the butt. You can't move the thing. The thing I really like as a tech working on this GM85 is if my batteries ever do die, I can just take the battery right out of this detector here and I can slide it in to the sleeve. This sleeve then fits right inside of my GM85 and I can disable the solenoids so that my brakes are disengaged and I can move my machine to where I need to move it to get the service done and get it back up and going.
And, portable lungs. We also have other products. I mean, our ultrasound systems here, really only the best in class for, general imaging, women's health, point of care. The market is just growing. That market is up and running and flying. And this is designed the same principles in it. How quickly can we repair this system and drive up time at the facilities?
So we've even got batteries in some of our ultrasounds as an add-on feature. So if you wanted the opportunity to have a battery on your ultrasound and to be able to have a mobile system, that is a capability that we can do. And I think that's a game changer as well, because a lot of doctors are trying to navigate hospitals up multiple floors. So being able to have that battery operated system, not have to turn it on when you plug it in and turn it on when you get into the room.
I can see that ease of use in an ICU setting where you're not trying to fight to find that space to plug it in.
Right.
And you're dealing with, 50 other pieces of equipment, it's going to be able to go as soon as you step in the room.
So I just have to all the innovation I've heard thus far, you're thinking obviously forward thinking with taking care of the clinicians, the people I have to use this day in and day out. Again, I'm a biomed. I appreciate that you've lowered the amount of batteries. I appreciate you making my life easier being able to move it when it's, obviously died. And just little things that you've thought about that is just going to make everybody's life easier. Because that's what technology should do when you're trying to engineer something. You want to make everybody's lives easier. That's just moving technology forward is, from what I can tell, there's discussing with you guys today. You guys, that is top of the list.
It's huge. And the investment Samsung's made into service it's incredible. So these systems here, their demos. Well, what do we do at the end of the demo session? The use of the demo is done. We have, new demos coming in. We take these into service and we deploy them strategically across the country. Anybody that tells you, I've never had, oh my God, repairs like this is going to be a couple of days. Well, we just deploy one of these systems to a hospital site. Let the biomed, let our team take it behind the curtain, work on it in the shop while the customer's still functioning throughout the day. It's a huge investment they made. They support our service organization. And I think more importantly, they support our mission. It's
Absolutely.
Our motto is committed to care. And what that means to you may be different than what we all think. We all have to care about something. If we can get people thinking about caring, ultimately, we'll land on the patient and patient care.
Like that. So Obviously got a lot of information. I appreciate you all allowing me to come and interview.
Oh, thank you so much.
I got to just take a moment to say thank you as well from my side of it. Obviously, you guys are all rocking the entire conference, you know, a co-branded partnership we put together with Samsung and Ohm's Law Apparel. And, you know, this is truly a love child of what I want to do to move this industry forward. And obviously, you know, when I spoke to Ree and had that discussion with you guys on what I foresee this doing and be able to change the game. So if you guys aren't aware, Ohm's Law Apparel, the whole mission is we're providing a brand, something that Biomeds can stand behind, that is easily recognizable. Every Biomed understands the pertinence of Ohm's Law. And, you know, they are the driving fundamentals of everything we do every day. Just like Biomeds are the driving fundamentals of hospital and healthcare. We are the people behind the scenes. And I want to make sure that we're giving back and also supporting the next generation to giving them the tools that we didn't have coming up to make them go further than we ever could. So how are we going to do that? Every purchase, all the proceeds go towards funding scholarships. So our goal is to put people through getting their associate's degree and getting into this field, which is going to solve handling the mass exodus that we all fear. And then certifications. I want to support people that are in the field. So if you want to get your CBET, your CRES, your CHTM, maybe your particular company or your facility won't reimburse you, we can cover that. If they are going to reimburse you, but you don't have the funds to go maybe try the AMY study group, we can cover that. And then lastly, we want to, of course, get more younger techs into some of these conferences. The invaluableness of getting a younger tech to be able to network and make connections are a lifetime of worth that you will never be able to understand and fathom until you've experienced it.
Right.
And we need to get more of the younger generation here. So if we're able to support them, sponsor them to get them here and make those connections, it could never know. You might be able to get them better opportunities, maybe new training, maybe learn about vendors that could make your life and your facility better. And then last, the community outreach. Myself, others like Bryant Hawkins, Justin Barber, Jennifer Chester, we all go out, we try to talk to students in schools and let people know about the biomed field. Our biggest issue is awareness. So through your support of Ohm's Law Apparel and leading the way like Samsung has stepped forward and, you know, they're a part of, you can make the change too, to where we can make everlasting changes in the biomed field. And I just want to say thank you to Samsung for supporting my mission on that. It means the world to me.
We are so proud to do it. We are so happy to do it.
Yeah, thank you.
If this is just one small way to give back, it's well worth it. And I really hope that other people follow suit, because you're wearing a purpose when you're rocking this Ohm's Law apparel.
We appreciate joining me today.
Bearded.
Hope y'all have a good rest of the exchange. And
Biomed.